Dolphin is going to do Sarabash now. He's going to use Bashes.
A minute away from his PB, everything goes well. Oh my god.
Is that faster?
Is that faster? Big jerk sometimes. He doesn't want to play nice. Oh my good lord.
What a save!
Oh!
He makes it. Wow.
Oh my god!
Welcome, Speed Gaming and Ori fans, back to the 2019 Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament. We are in the semifinals, the last weekend, in fact, of our tournament. By Sunday, we will have a victor. My name is Jay Halcyon. I'm joined by Lurking Assassin for this match between Willson and Elojimmini. Lurking, how are you doing today?
How else can I be doing when we have a matchup between Elojimmini and Willson right now? Like, basically, you could say this is like the finals, or as good as the finals would be. It's two of the greatest runners going at it in the semifinals. I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, definitely. Both of these runners are absolutely fantastic at this game. As you can see here on our stat screen, they've both got 28 times. Elo's is quite a bit quicker as terms of 28 and quite a bit more recent. But they're basically going to be going for the same strats, the absolute all-out strats all the way through. They've both been former world record holders. This is a great matchup.
Yeah, Elo and Willson have actually traded world records before, like, and they've been like kind of like rivals in this game for a long time, and now they're like also two of the greatest times. As we mentioned, how they both have 28s, but like I want to stress on how good a 28 time is. That's like absolutely insane, and they've both put so much work into it, and they're just two of the best runners. That's all I could say.
Yeah, definitely. And to add to it, Willson, with the worst PB here, is defending his title from last year where he won the All Skills tournament in 2018. So we've got a little bit on the line for him.
Yeah, definitely. And Elo obviously wants to take it away from him because Elo is, just a great runner. And I think as of right now, I want to say Elo has like a... Okay, scratch that. The match has started and they're about to get into Glades, and I guess we could talk about it throughout the race.
Very true, though. Of course, we're going to see some very optimal running and jumping here from both of our runners. Willson throwing in a bit of a color code, getting a nice light pink, mixing it up a bit for us.
You gotta have the fun and just add some colors, do that little gamble and see what color you're gonna get.
Yeah, thankfully he didn't get one of those really dark purples or blues that just kind of blends into this area.
Hey, I like those colors. They make it more interesting. Maybe.
They can be fun. I don't know that I'd want one in a race like this, though.
I mean, it would be fun to get it up to like this point and then switch it out on Sign, but either way, now they got Sign. At about the same time, no one had really made any mistakes. It's hard to make mistakes in that early stage of the game, especially for such experienced runners.
Yeah, and mistakes are really going to be the story of this matchup. Willson has told us that he's going to be playing it a little bit safer, and that he is watching the restream. So we can expect to see a little bit of safety saves, maybe a slightly safer strats from him. What about Elo, Lurking?
Yeah, Elo said he's gonna basically go all out. He doesn't care about safety. He just wants to go as fast as he can, and that is a strat. He's going for basically everything he knows.
Yeah, so that's alone, just the strategies that they're employing might make for an interesting late game.
Yeah, definitely, because as we seen in this tournament, the late game is very dangerous, and since Elo is not planning on getting any safety, that could be like a great problem or a great advantage to him, because it could speed him up a lot, or bite him.
Yeah, he could very easily go for something that'll save him 2 seconds over what Willson is doing, and die to it and lose a minute and a half. So we'll be watching out for that, seeing which of our runners can execute more cleanly. This is kind of a first, actually, for us, what we've just seen right here. I don't think we've had a matchup so far in the tournament where both runners have gone 3 HP.
I believe we have a very few. Almost the majority of runners decide to go for the 4th health because it's barely slower but so much safer. But as we mentioned, these runners are insanely good, and they just kind of don't care if they have a slight extra danger if it means saving a few seconds.
Yeah, and as well, a little bit of the health routing gets easier running at 3 HP rather than 4. So if you're used to doing that, then messing with that during a tournament race might not be the best thing for your muscle.
Yeah, and I love how synced they are right now. Like when they were dropping down into wall jump, they're basically just actually just died. But
I think they might even be frame tied right now.
yeah, I want to say
incredible.
Like this could be caused by like syncs and such, but I feel like Willson is like a few frames ahead, which again means nothing. And speaking of bad colors, look at Willson.
Yeah, let's hope he obviously. Okay, I guess it won't be too bad once he gets into Blackroot because he'll do a save and reload and he'll be back to the basic white Ori. But for now, Wilson's going to be pretty invisible.
Yeah, so if you want to see actually what's happening, maybe look at the right side of the screen for a little bit, because especially when we get a little bit higher, it's going to be even harder to see Ori at that area.
Yeah, Willson losing about a second, it looks like, to that hanging rock, unfortunately. So Elo's going to take a tiny advantage, I'll say. I don't even know I'd call this a lead yet.
No, it's really not. Like any small mistake from Elo, like not even a death, like just like a missed jump and they're basically died again. This is nothing, like, really.
So yeah, here we go. Coming through Glades. Both of them getting that nice jump down there. Willson picking up his 15 XP orb, so he's going to be going for the Genocide route with Magnet. Elo is going for Quick Flame, it looks like.
Yeah, that is something that we didn't mention earlier. They do take slightly different routes, in which Elo does the Magnetless route, where it's a little bit more dangerous and Frank you up, but other than that, it's generally a little bit faster. But then Willson here will have a little bit of a better time in Blackroot, where he could potentially catch a faster cycle, as well as have a way safer Blackroot. I mean, not Blackroot, Frank you up.
Yeah, and that's kind of, again, going to be the story for Willson, is he's just using slightly safer strats than Elo is the entire time. So we'll see if that pays off for him, or if Elo going all out on his strats will pay off for him. So we'll see here as Willson is able to run past Elo, not having to jump up to take that 100 XP orb, but he'll take a little bit more time killing some slimes.
Yeah, even though now they looks like they're tied, I believe Willson should be able to catch a faster cycle. And it's going to give him a little bit of an advantage over Elo if it all goes well. But then again, that could all change later on in the run in Ginso mainly, and then it kind of averages it out.
Yeah, Willson taking that tiny advantage that you mentioned there. What is that, maybe 4 seconds apart?
Yeah, like 3,
based on the platform cycles?
Yeah. So now here, Willson is actually doing a small manip on that left Slime's position, where he's going to have to also kill him before he goes to the Lantern. And he does it successfully, and I think that concludes that he did have a really good Genocide, and that should save him a little bit of time. He's probably happy about getting that. It's not an easy thing to pull off.
Yep, and manages to catch that platform cycle in the dash room, as does Elo.
Yes, right now they're like about like a half cycle apart or something, which is still like an extremely close race for the different routes that they're doing in the early game.
Yeah, and I believe Elo is going to save a couple of seconds here by going for the cutscene stack that Willson can't do because he's doing the Genocide route.
Yeah, for Genocide, Willson needs to grab an extra slime, so doing what we call the cutscene stack is not ideal for that. You're going to have to backtrack some movement. Well, Elo, you're going to see here, saves early and puts the game. This will make him watch the cutscene that Willson will skip, but then he will get some blind movement that we will see soon.
Yeah, he's just going to carry the orb off to the side because he can. But here's where he's going to make up that time.
So eyes on the right side here. Elo has to do blind movement. If he falls into the pit that Willson is jumping over, this could be disastrous for him. But from the looks of it, he made it very far, and that was a very good blind movement by him. And looks like he is ahead of Willson.
Yeah, by just a fraction of a second.
Yeah, because Willson had to take that very small detour of killing an extra slime, while Elo was able to skip a quote-unquote 2 seconds cutscene, even though it's more, but at the end it saves 2 seconds.
Yeah, and of course, Elo will have a slightly faster mini-boss in the Ginso tree with that quick flame, but he's going to be giving up some time to Willson here because Willson won't have to set up the Frankie as precisely.
Yeah,
So,
Elo's going to have
lots
to
of
watch an
little
extra
trade-offs
hop.
back.
But speaking of that, Willson actually had his Frankie get stuck in the spikes. That would lose him like a couple of seconds where, as well as Elo also getting what we call optimal. Oh my...
Oh no! Oh no,
So-
Elo!
This is what we were talking about Magnetless Frankie Walk being so dangerous. The XP spawned where he killed the Frankie slightly too early that he couldn't get the XP, and he got actually most of it, but didn't quite level up and has to reload and do the entire Frankie Walk again. That is disastrous for him in this race.
Yeah, that's going to put Willson out to a commanding lead. Willson, for his part, not going for that Deathbite strat, giving up the second or two, again, for a fairly large measure of safety. Eyes on the left here as Willson is coming up on his Grotto Cycle attempt.
So, as we all know, he's going to dash across the crushers and try to make the cycle, and he barely misses it, but that's, again, an 8-second disadvantage where Elo just had, like, basically a close to a minute death, so Willson is not upset about this trade-off, and Elo does get his Magnetless in the second try.
Yeah, but that does open up just that little bit of a window where Elo can start making up some of that time.
Yeah, so Elo's, again, gonna try to go for the same movement, but wait, I also want to reiterate that Willson is watching the restream. He knows what happens to Elo, and that's probably gonna give him a big boost in, like, confidence and just kind of, like, momentum, keep going. I expect Willson to kind of have a very clean next few minutes.
Yeah, on the right, Elo going for his Grotto Cycle also misses it.
That was such a weird ramp. He ramped all the way to the ceiling, but at the end, it really doesn't matter how he failed it. He misses the 8-second cycle, and he breaks even with Willson on that as well.
Yep, Willson having some pretty good blind movement off of the double jump tree. Having a little bit of trouble getting a jump he likes over those spikes. Oh no!
Okay, he took the safety save. He took a safety save that is what we call quote-unquote free, because you get an energy cell right after that, and it came in handy, because otherwise he would have had to climb that whole wall again in, like, probably an extra, like, 8 seconds or something.
Yeah, but again, that's just that little bit of time is going to chip away at his lead.
Yeah, he does a baguette jump, which love. Very clean.
Yeah, nailing that grotto skip first try as well. Good movement up through this rockfall shaft. Of course, we don't have the rocks falling because we skipped that cutscene. I love seeing two runners that are this good at the game doing this basic movement on this split.
I mean, it's not really basic, is it? This is like such... Oh, Elo having a little bit of trouble with Grotto skip, but gets it in a quick third try and is on his way up. But yeah, so going back to what I was saying, this movement is... While it might look like it's just climbing walls, it is not easy movement at all. The walls in this game are very difficult to climb, and there's so much optimizations that goes into it that these runners are doing.
Oh, definitely. When I say basic movement, I definitely don't mean to say that it is simple to do well. This is one of the most technical sections of the run.
Yeah, definitely. Willson is having a little bit of trouble climbing some of these walls, although he does have a big lead where these small mistakes are probably not gonna make him lose an advantage or anything, but if this keeps up, he will lose a good amount of time to Elo just because of some, like, difficult wall climbings.
Yeah, it looks like he just barely misses the movement here for this fast spinner cycle, so that's a couple of seconds that Elo might be able to make up as well.
Yeah, that's about 2 or 3 seconds if Elo gets this. So these seconds are actually starting to add up. We will get a more precise description at the deltas and how much time Willson lost compared to Elo in this split. Of course, if this keeps up with Elo and keeping his great movement over here, I cannot assume it's going to happen, but we'll get a more accurate thing at Ginso.
Yep, now Elo going for that movement, Looks like he got the dash glide just fine, and he's in the first part. He just has to beat the spinner around. And
Alright,
he gets it. Very nice.
This is not an easy cycle at all. Elo pulled it out really nicely, and it should save him like a few seconds by doing it. Over to the right, Willson deciding to go for telehops. Let's see how they go, and very clean. This is actually perfect. Well, not perfect, but almost close to perfect.
Yeah, not dropping a safety save there after in the second room. A little bit surprised by that. But hopefully Willson doesn't take a death and go back to the beginning of the Genso tree to join Elo. Okay, just got his save, got his intentional death there to manipulate this cycle. We'll see what Elo does with this second room.
I believe he also goes for telehops, so let's see how that goes for him. Another very clean telehops. This just shows how good these runners are. This is one of the most difficult tricks you could go for. It's a very precise series of movements, and they both get it so cleanly. Over on the right side, on the left side, Willson is going for his mini boss, trying to go for a potential 4 cycle, and he is on pace for it so far, I believe.
Yeah, a little bit of a race update for us here. At the water vein, Willson was 37 seconds ahead. At the entrance to the Genso tree, he was only 33 seconds ahead. So Elo managed to make up 4 seconds on that split.
Yeah.
And he'll make up a little bit more time on the way to the Bash tree.
Yeah, exactly. This is because of the difference in routes. Elo's, as you see on the right side, is gonna have a way nicer time killing this mini boss than Willson did. And barely
almost gets the 3 cycle.
3 cycle is the best you could get with the current DPS that Elo has, and he barely misses it. He still got a really fast 4 cycle. And Willson dropped his save slightly too early for the ghost door, so he saved before he put the keys in. Just a couple seconds, you know, again, a couple seconds is not much, but they are starting to add up. Elo is very close to approaching Willson. Wait, no, Willson. Yeah. I got confused in names.
Yeah, Elo taking a cycle and a bit more less time than Elo on that mini boss, and it shows. He's only 16 seconds behind now at Bash Tree.
Yeah, so that's about 20 seconds from Water Vein to here where Elo caught off. Just shows the clean movement he's been having so far. It's just been insane.
So Willson going for his key duplication here. I don't expect to see any problems for him. And it looks like he got it cleanly. Doesn't choose to take the safety save. Goes for the damage boost up the wall. That is the fast strat. It's not the safe strat. If he manages to die through here, he would have to redo his key dupe, which would be tragic, but he gets through just fine. Elo going for his key dupe, nails it.
Although Elo did go for a lower save where it's a little bit safer and he could get the what's it called, the rekindle for safety, but again, it really doesn't make much of a difference in time because of the double battery goes for. So again, Elo's on the top with, again, no mistakes or very clean key dupe area movements.
Yep, now Willson teleporting out of the Genso tree to go for his swamp entry soon, while Elo finishes off this bit of a mini boss.
I mean,
We'll see whether Willson decides to go for the cutscene skip here or not. Looks like he will be going to turn those lasers off.
Yeah, and because of skipping the lasers, he does have to do some blind movements, as we could see.
Taking a little bit of damage there in the blind movement.
Yeah. He gets stuck on the spikes, decides to take a safety save because he is at 1 health right now.
I like that choice. He knows he's ahead, and that safety save only costs him a little bit of time, but if the swamp entry had gone badly, he gets it first try. But if it had gone badly, it would make it a lot faster for him to retry it.
Yeah.
On the right, Elo going into his swamp entry.
Ooh, that frog went a little bit too far than he would like, but it doesn't make a big difference. He just runs away, and Elo also gets a very clean swamp entry. Very clean from both of them. Very well played.
Yeah, it is truly a joy to see players executing at this level like both of them are.
And definitely. It's especially that trick, it's not easy at all, but they both managed to pull it very cleanly, as well as the movement up here. Elo's going for a series of double bashes that Willson also did, as they do a little bit of high five, and they both get very clean movement. Meanwhile, Willson is just already going towards his charge flame tree.
Yeah, Willson will be going for the next manipulation with this frog, dropping a safety save. He needs to use it to get up and grab that
Dashes into
ability
the
cell.
frog,
Ooh,
but
takes a
he's-
bit of damage.
Yeah, okay, he's fine. Again, Willson doesn't have lasers since he turned them off earlier, so he doesn't have to worry about them here. And he's probably going to take a safety save and then go for his spirit cutscene skip. And gets it really cleanly.
Very nice. On the right, Elo going to match that quick execution to get up to that ability cell. And Elo does have lasers on. See what kind of cycle he gets. Okay, manages it just fine.
Meanwhile, if you look at the left side, Willson will be going for a very difficult series of double bashes to skip this cutscene in a more untraditional way, but it saves some time, and he gets it very cleanly.
Yeah, he has to avoid touching the ground at all through there, or he will trigger that cutscene. But manages to pull it off. We thought that was TAS only for until very recently. Whoa,
Meanwhile,
Elo.
Willson, Elo, not Willson. Oh my god. Also going for that same movement, and his shot is a little bit low, but he still manages to mirror it off.
Oh,
is insane,
the way he
insane.
started that was really spooky.
I think he intended that. He was just gonna fall on the spikes, but I just want to say how insane it is to see two runners both pull off this trick in a race. It's insane how hard it is, and they both did it very cleanly.
Yeah, and Willson seems to be finding his groove here. He's pulled ahead to a 21-second lead
Although
over Elo. Oh, what's going on here?
he
Wilson.
took some damage from the
What are you doing?
He took some damage from the Frankie that put him down to low health, and it just kind of messed up his rhythm. I think he is at either 1 or 2 health, so most things here will kill him. And a death in Valley is probably the worst death you can take in the run, so Willson has to be very careful from now until he gets to his feather.
Yeah, looks like he decided to not go for a frog double bash strat up that chimney. It's going to cost him a little bit of time, but no risk of taking damage from touching the frog.
He also skips it on this frog, because I think he knows he's 1 hit from death, and he doesn't want to risk any, like, weird shenanigans where he takes the damage after double bashing.
Yep, but on the left, Willson coming up on his fast stopless. Looks like he likes that first shot.
I'm gonna try to guess whether it's
Racing
good
over
or not.
to the... I've learned to never try to call shots on commentary. Willson gets it first try. Elo on the right, coming up to try to match.
Shot looks really good. This one I'm very confident in to actually guess the shot, and he also races towards the cell and also gets it.
Very nice execution from both runners in the same cutscene.
Yeah. The cutscene is about 24 seconds or 26 seconds long, so we could tell that's about the delta between them, like somewhere in the near the 20 seconds, which has been very consistent for the past few splits.
Yeah, but now we're into the very dangerous part of the run. Any death here is likely to be very costly, as our runners just don't have the energy to take a lot of safety saves.
Oh!
Oh no, Willson! And just
Okay,
like
so
that, Elo has
Elo
the
has
lead.
The lead. Willson had a little bit of trouble with Sorrow Bash, where he had to do a little bit of some extra double bashes, which messed up with his bird's health, which ended up killing him, but he does seem to have gotten his second try, and also Elo had gotten it first try. Now they're both going to move on to Crazy Juggle, which is the harder of the two tricks that you have to do in Sorrow.
Yeah, Elo going for these, canceling out his charge bashes. Oh no, he kills his first frog. He's got a
Right.
backup.
So he's gonna have. This does give Willson the advantage again. Elo has to go through these lasers and just.
Oh no,
kind
Willson
of,
kills his frog too.
He also has to go back down to the other backup frog. Elo kills the backup frog. He kills himself. He's back to the feather.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's see if Willson could get this frog up. If he can, this will give him a huge advantage over Elo. Ooh. Spikes? No? Okay.
I was worried there that Frog can walk into those spikes just of his own volition, and that is never something you want to see.
Alright, so Willson is already up there and has Crazy Juggle. Rocket jumping up to the Sunstone. Elo is just now gonna start his Crazy Juggle, or not yet even.
Yes, that sequence of events giving Willson quite a sizable
kills
advantage
the
back.
frog.
Elo hitting his frog again.
He tries to go for
Oh,
a
no.
laser, like a long distance laser dash, and fails it because I know from experience, failing crazy juggle is like a tilter. You just kind of keep failing it over and over. This is a very tough spot for Elo.
Yeah, and Elo not watching the restream, but has to have some inkling in his mind that he's fighting from behind at this point.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Willson is already almost at the charge jump tree. There's a huge difference now. I think this is probably the biggest delta in the race that we have seen because of this crazy juggle. Right, he is almost to the top.
Come on, Elo.
And he
gets
got his
it.
frog up. It's a very good job to recover from that earlier mistakes that he had. Now he's gonna have to grab the Sunstone and retrace Wilson's steps and getting charge jump.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Willson on the left almost gets the weave, working his way out of Sorrow.
All that matters.
Any of those spikes would kill him in one hit, but he doesn't care.
Yeah. And here's what we mentioned earlier, Willson taking safety. He drops that safety save there at the beginning of Misty because he has 3 health. Every spike in Misty will one-shot him, so... And Willson knows how ahead he is. He will be probably dropping a safety save every time possible. Ooh! Okay, alright. He almost stomped into the spikes and died, but he did manage to cancel it. And again,
Yeah,
takes
even-
another safety save.
Even electing to use his last energy on that, I'm guessing he'll, he's going to pause to pick up this energy crystal on his way through. Get himself back into a place where he can charge dash. Elo at the charge jump tree. How much time did that crazy juggle cost him? 1 minute and 3 seconds is the delta.
Yes, and remember, that's 1 minute and 3 seconds where Willson also had some troubles, so overall they both lost probably like 1.5 minutes for Elo where he lost. It was not pretty, but now he is out and he's already almost at Misty. Meanwhile, Willson already has climbed halfway through Misty.
Elo forgoing that safety save. He wants that extra energy. He wants that extra uncancelled charge dash just to go that little bit faster.
Yeah, and as Elo said, he will not be going for safety. He's going for everything, especially at this point, to have any hope of catching up in this race.
Oh my goodness, Wilson's on 1 health. And he's not saving. Wilson, please.
He's probably gonna save at the 4th keystone when he has time, because for now he's just gonna be in the air for a while. Right. I really expect a safe save from Willson here, and he does drop it. Alright.
Yeah, after grabbing that energy as well. Okay.
Meanwhile, Elo already almost at the climb tree. Very clean Misty movement from him. Willson having a little bit of too good of a rocket jump where he went a little higher than he wants to. But it's not a big deal. He's almost at the mini-boss.
Yeah, he dropped an energy there, so he had to take a slightly slower route up, but evaporates the mini-boss there. Gets his level up. He'll have full energy and health to work his way out of Misty.
Yeah,
On the right,
exactly what he wants.
Elo going for a little bit different strats. We can't see his health. I'm pretty sure he's still at full.
He goes for his laser dash that he always does, and he gets it again. It's a very precise movement, but Elo's insanely good at that.
Yeah, he has to have some sort of precise setup for it.
He does
It
have a
just
visual
works.
cue for it. Yeah, but meanwhile, Willson already out of Misty, teleporting over to Blackroot again so he could get his grenade and already finish the run.
And no safety save from Elo there at the 4th keystone. Going for this rocket jump. Charge dashing his way through. A little bit of a movement flub there, but nothing huge. Getting that rocket jump that Willson couldn't.
Doesn't get the quick kill, but he does get a quick kill, but not a quick kill? I don't know. That was interesting. Meanwhile, Willson doing a long essay all the way over to the grenade tree, so he could skip that cutscene on top very slightly faster, where he's gonna double bash the spirit and just go into the cutscene and skip it.
Yeah, that was very nice. Not quite blind movement, but
But yeah, essay
movement behind him.
rather, yeah. Semi-blind.
You do get used to playing the game behind the menu like that, but it can still be really hard to see if you're looking for very small things.
So here we see Willson going for some grenade jumps to exit his grenade tree just to save a few more seconds here and there, and decides to go for a safety and wait for that laser. Very smart decision from him.
Yeah, again, Willson watching the restream. He knows how far ahead he is. Taking that little bit of safety, waiting out the 2 or 3 seconds on that cycle. Well worth it.
Yeah.
Finally picking up a 4th health.
Ooh, I think he teleported to Blades? I think he teleported to the wrong place. I'm not sure where to, though. Okay, never mind. I take that back. I am not good enough at this game to guess where he teleported to, apparently.
It looks like Elo found himself down in energy, so had to divert just a little bit. Good game knowledge to know where that backup energy crystal was. But this is quite the gap. I think unless we see Willson soft lock a few times, he should have this one in the bag.
Yeah.
Or door warp, the great equalizer, of course.
Yeah, we do want to mention, like, the late game has so many difficult tricks. It's technically not over yet, but I do not expect Willson to lose this lead, but we never know. After entering this door where Willson is, anything could happen.
Elo hitting those spikes, going for that rocket jump anyway.
Oh, that was some scary stuff. But Elo is safe.
Decides not to go for the rocket jump again.
Alright, on the left side, Willson gets door warp first try. He's very ready to finish this run and take the first win in the series.
Will he go for warm skip?
Definitely not. Oh, he is.
No, he
oh my
does.
god. What about that safety Willson talked about? Guess he doesn't care. He's... Oh, he actually missed it. Alright, and now he decided not to. I knew that's gonna happen, that's why I said definitely not. But yeah, basically what Willson had to do is get a thing called game storage, which is a little bit finicky and sometimes it just doesn't work, and I believe that's what happened to him there. So he just decides to not try it again, go for the safer strat of just watching this cutscene.
Elo, well, that was going on, taking a short pause to grab an extra ability cell. He actually managed to stomp cancel over it, but then went back for it. So I wonder what he's thinking here.
Is he gonna safe drop?
He might be figuring he's far enough behind that he just wants to do a little bit of memeing. Willson getting out of the poison water.
Alright, Willson, all he has to do is grenade jump, or maybe even not grenade jump if that's what he decides to do, but he is gonna grenade jump. Aims it, goes, and he gets it.
GG Willson.
GG.
And Elo getting his first try door warp. Didn't end up spending that ability cell, going for his game storage.
He, although, gets the game storage. This technically saves about like 10 to 12 seconds if I'm not mistaken, but in this race it doesn't really matter. Willson already has the win unless something catastrophic happens and the game crashes, but that is not going to happen. He just has to walk down for a few steps.
You gotta tempt fate, don't you?
Figure it out
Elo
in a few
down to
seconds.
1/2 of an energy, so he will, however, know that Willson has won. Willson throwing in some Naru hops for us, taking game 1 with a time of 30:05.
It's a very good time, although it's not quite a 29, but it's an amazing time by Willson. Elo is already done. He's going to finish with a little bit under a 31, so not a minute separate them. GG to both of them in this first matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Both of them having some pretty substantial mistakes, but Willson just having fewer of them.
Yeah. This goes back to even the early game. Like, it started with the magnetless mistake from Elo, and it just kind of caught up. It got closer and closer, where he was actually ahead for a little bit, but then Crazy Juggle just put him right back where he started after the catastrophe he had in the early game. So 30:56 from Elo.
Yeah, only 51 seconds separating our two runners. Looks like Elo's timer decided to reset on him there, but we saw the time. We know what it was.
But again, this is not the end of the series. This is the best of 3, and we will watch all 3 matches right here if they were needed. So we still have a lot of action coming in.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break to let our runners get reset, and then we'll be back with Game 2 of this best of 3.
See you soon. Alright, welcome back everyone. We are back for the second game of the series between Elo and Willson. As we know, Willson has already taken game 1 from Elo and is ready to, hopefully, in his case, close out the series. But we'll see this very soon. I am again Lurking Assassin, joined with Halcyon.
Hey, Lurking, and yeah, that first race was quite a nail-biter at several moments, so I'm looking forward to seeing something great out of these runners again. I'm a little bit biased. I want to see a game 3, so I'm going to be rooting a little bit for Elojimmini in this race, but I won't be sad to see Willson bust out a good run.
I will not be sad in seeing anything in this race. Just watching these runners is already amazing, and anything that could happen will be amazing, so I'm very excited for it. Alright, so I guess while talking about this, so I guess in race 1 we saw Elo have some problems in kind of the early game and the late game. So what do you expect to see in this second race from them? Do you expect more safety? Do you expect them to just kind of make up for these mistakes, or what do you think is going to happen in this game too?
Well, I mean, as our runners are about to get underway here, the story of last race was kind of that Elo was a little bit faster, I think, overall with his movement. But and some of that does owe to Willson just playing a little bit safer.
Mm-hmm.
But Willson didn't take as many large deaths, and so if Elo can clean up those mistakes, I expect to see him take it. If Willson can manage to run more cleanly, and Elo gives him even just one opening, like that magnetless Frankie walk error or anything like that, he could very easily run away and take this game too.
Yeah, as we already saw that in the previous game. So for now, again, just running towards Sign, Willson had a very small problem with his Warlock skip, so it did give Elo a small advantage, but again, that's not really a big deal.
Yeah, a lot of our little tiny advantages that you'll see here in Glades are, as we saw last game, really inconsequential next to some of the stuff that can happen later on in the.
Yeah, definitely. Like, losing a second here, 2 seconds there is nothing compared to, like, missing Crazy Juggle and losing a minute or something.
Definitely.
So for now, they're just gonna go to the front fight as usual. No problems from either of them in it.
Yeah, both of them getting their shots out quickly enough that they can just run to the right the entire time. Oh, Willson did manage to get us a color this game as well. Looks like he's a very faint yellow.
I actually didn't even notice that there was a color until he mentioned it. It's like very faint, as he said.
Right. But both runners maybe a half second apart right now. Again, essentially nothing in the context of this run. Elo not taking any damage there. Checks his health. He's at 2, right where he wants to be. Willson also at 2.
Yeah, so their early game health routing has been pretty good so far, and no major problems for either of them where like they get trolled by brambles or slimes or anything. They're both into Ghost at like maybe a second difference.
Yeah, and even the little bit of the RNG and how everything dropped there helped them both out. Elo having a health pickup that decided not to roll down that log, and Willson having an energy pickup that did the same.
Yeah. Again, these pickups usually just make you watch an extra like mini 1 second or 40 frames cutscene. They're really not a big deal, but they are like frustrating when like you just keep getting an energy or it just rolls down on you and you have to watch the extra cutscene. But fortunately, neither of them had that. But Willson had another energy, but he dodged it here as well.
Yeah, now Willson is at 1 HP, as you can see as he quickly flashes his UI to check. So he can't go for this flower skip, but he can very quickly just take that extra health flower, get up to 2 HP, and damage boost on those spikes. So he'll be all set up for his XP to level up on the way up, which is exactly what he wants to do going into this genocide route in BRB.
Yeah, and I think Willson probably wasn't too sad about the fact that he had 1 health and couldn't do flower skip because he was a little low in XP and he just needed the flower XP anyways. So at the end, it really didn't make much of a difference for him, and they're both at wall jump with a 2 seconds delta.
Yeah, of course, as we saw last round, that can very quickly vanish once we get into Blackroot, so we will see how their movement shapes up on the way there.
Yeah, especially with the different routes that they're taking, there will be some differences in Blackroot, at least by the end of, like, by the dash tree.
And we don't expect to see either runner have any problems working their way across glades here.
Hopefully not, because
Taking a little bit of intentional damage going through that elbow from those slimes just to move faster.
just taking that intentional damage really sets it up where, like, you could do quick dodges and not have to kill those slimes on the what we call the elbow, and it's just a little bit faster. But again, they're both in 2 health now. It shouldn't be a problem for either of them, but just to point it out.
Yep, Elo nailing his movement as we expect, on his way down into Blackroot. Gonna go for that save anywhere, grab his quick flame. Willson picking up his 15 XP, setting up to grab his magnet to go into his genocide route.
Yeah, and it looks like the XP from both of them is really good so far. They're probably both happy with how this turned out, and
Yeah, Willson may be a little bit high. He'll have to do what he did last race, and after taking this first Slime's XP, duck down to avoid the explosion from the level up, killing another slime that he needs later on. But handles it without any problems.
has a little bit of trouble doing that little jump. Shouldn't make a big difference unless... I don't think that lost him enough time to not get his cycle, so it should be all good. Yeah, like, with the end of Blackroot.
Yeah, Elo getting his jump, that tricky jump, up to the 100 XP orb just fine, and manages to keep just the slightest lead coming through this section. Ooh, getting a little bit beat up by that projectile. He's down to 1.
Okay, so they're both up at 1 now. They cannot take any damage, but they're off to the laser, so their health shouldn't matter unless they take a laser hit.
Yep, Elo going for that reload to
Willson.
reset his platform cycles, gets
Willson
his
really
platform
catches a
cycles,
cycle.
and gets...
Alright, so they're both up at about the same time.
Yeah, this might as well be tied.
Yeah. Well, it might look like it's tied right now. Remember that Willson will have to grab an extra slime a little bit later, as well as not have... Ooh, he
Oh,
didn't
no.
get the energy, so he's gonna have to kill 2 extra slimes. That is actually not too good for Willson. This will slow him down by a couple of seconds for having to grab 2 extra slimes on the way out.
Yeah, so Elo will have just a few seconds of advantage coming out of Blackroot Burrows now.
Yeah,
Thanks
even
to
though
that
it
small
does
mistake
look
from
like
Willson.
it's like frame tied right now.
Yeah, looks like even less than a second apart on that lever. And thanks to our wonderful friends in the truck keeping track of these things, Wilson's been having some trouble in the tournament with that specific Slime's XP. So he's very practiced at dealing with it, but maybe a little bit frustrated that it keeps happening.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's gonna grab the closer slime, the one on the like near the platforms before the wall, if I'm not mistaken. So he's gonna take a very small stop before jumping over the pit. Right here. Gets that energy, that XP, and then goes on to the second slime, gets it, and again, Elo's in a slight advantage right now.
Yeah, Willson did take a little bit of damage from those slimes coming out, so needs to be a little bit more careful with this Frankie walk. He's still got 2 health though, so he's okay.
Yeah. So this is again important. Wilson's Frankie gets stuck a little bit under the tree. He does that sometimes where he just doesn't want to get up. So that will lose him a couple of hops, and that will actually also guarantee that. Ooh, Willson. Okay.
Oh my goodness, that was spooky.
So I think he just didn't notice that his Frankie was a little bit... Okay, cancel that. Elo does get his Magnolins this time. And then Willson, he just had a little bit of trouble with his Frankie, and that cost him a good amount of time because those hops are slow, and needing extra hops is not the best thing in the world. But he does get his Frankie walk at the end, and he's not too far behind Elo.
Yep, Elo making it through the Death Gauntlet, no problems whatsoever. Drops his save, and will be setting up for his Grotto cycle.
And just an interesting change. Okay, let's look at the right where Elo will be attempting this cycle. He missed it last race and he missed it again now. This will be a good chance for Willson to catch up. So let's see, if he gets it on the left side, he's going to go for the same movement, 3 dashes on the Crusher, and then wall climb, and he gets it. That's 8 seconds for Willson.
Yeah, that cuts nicely into Elo's lead for Willson. That's exactly the kind of small time save he needs to get back into this race.
Yeah, it's these things that add up. Like 8 seconds here is actually kind of important when the difference between them is probably less than 8 seconds at this point in the run.
Yep, Elo going for his blind movement. We'll see how well he handles that. Only a handful of seconds separating these two. About 5 seconds at double jump. Elo having a little bit of difficulty with that blind movement.
Well,
Willson nailing it.
They're basically tied again. Elo is like less than a second ahead at this point. And they were 5 seconds difference at double jump. That just shows how much Wilson's blind movement saved time over Elo. Actually, Willson takes the energy cell before Elo. He is... Okay, I cannot tell who's in the lead anymore. They're tied.
We'll see who's in the lead after this Grotto skip. Both of them having a little bit of trouble. Willson getting it. Elo still struggling just a little bit. Elo getting it.
Alright. Okay, so we're back to Willson being very slightly in the lead. Elo is not far behind them. They're both climbing this Gumus shaft area at the same time with very clean movement from both of them up that area. They're both determined to like keep up this pace and not make any more mistakes. Alright, so Water Vein for Willson, and then Elo with a 2 second delta between them on those two Water Vein, on the Water Vein. So again, still a very close race.
Yeah, 2 seconds may as well be nothing as far as where we are in the race so far. It might come out to be the difference at the end, but if it does, I'll be a little bit surprised.
That would be very crazy in a 2 seconds difference race, and especially if it was for such small things. Willson is going in the wrong direction.
Oh no!
Oh no, Willson
Oh,
probably
no.
lost some focus. He's gonna notice when he tries to bash the frog and notice that he is not at that point of the run yet.
Oh no! This is tragic. Okay, he's realized he doesn't have bash yet.
Okay.
He's gonna
That
head
is
back.
gonna put Elo in a very decent lead, but Willson will not have to worry about turning off these lasers later on in the run. Alright.
Ooh, good safety save. Value there.
Alright, so but he is through now. He is over to get his the teleporter and join Elo and Genso tree soon.
Yeah, the stress may be getting to Willson just a little bit. Takes a hit on those spinners even. It's an easy mistake to make. You come up that area twice in this round, and keeping them straight can be a little.
Yeah, so he has to kill that slime because he took that hit of damage, so he doesn't have enough health to damage boost. Meanwhile, as he is entering Ginso tree, Elo having some troubles with telehops this time, but he does get them without losing too much time.
And Willson typing in Twitch chat for us. If we didn't know he was watching the restream, we do now. A little bit of brain fart for him there.
I mean, to be fair, like I'm pretty sure like everyone's done that at one point. It's so easy to make, but hopefully he could recover from that and not like get in a bad mindset because of it. He gets very clean telehops and is already like saved a little bit of time over Elo in that area.
Yeah, he's looking to cut into that 28-second lead that he managed to hand Elo on the way to the Genso tree.
Well, Elo going for his mini boss, trying to look at a 3 cycle, but I believe he is not on pace to get it. He doesn't. He's again on a close 4 cycle.
Yeah, it looks like just one shot shy of it there. That 3 cycle takes some very specific timing and inputs to pull off.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
On the
Willson
left,
will be
Willson.
looking for a 4 cycle.
And it looks like I saw a sign
Yeah.
maddeningly miss a shot there.
Yeah. So unfortunately, he will not be able to get the 4th cycle, but a 5 cycle should be easy to get for him, and he does get it. Meanwhile, Elo is ready at the bash tree.
Yeah, Willson right on his heels. Just needs to pick up some keystones, open a door, and dash over to the tree. But Elo's going to be ahead of him coming into this key dupe area.
Yeah, definitely. And like as we saw last run, in the last race, such differences are not the biggest of problems with what could happen in the late game. So both of them just need to kind of keep playing cleanly and hope that nothing tragic happens.
Yeah, and as Willson picks up his bash, we've got a 27-second lead for Elo. So that might seem like it's a very small change, but keep in mind that Willson had to take an extra cycle on that mini boss, so catching up some time.
Yeah. Like, Elo should have ideally saved like 4 to 6 seconds over Willson here, but given that he lost time, it shows that Willson is catching up slowly but surely.
Yeah, just about one room ahead at this point.
Yeah. And also, Archaka mentioning a very good fact that he doesn't have to reload or wait for the cutscene later on when the exit going towards, what's it called? Swamp entry. So he will save like 3, 4, 5 seconds there or something.
Yeah, that's actually a fairly significant time, I guess, investment, time return
Yeah.
that Willson will be able to take advantage of. And thankfully, because he did turn off the lasers, he won't have to contend with them on his way up toward that swamp entry
That would
area.
have been bad, yeah. It would have been really bad because it would have been easy to forget about them on like the lower part and would have been just an easy way to get a death. But since he doesn't have lasers, he has nothing to worry about.
Yep. Elo coming up on his swamp entry. No safety save. Straight into it. Ooh,
Hits the
takes a
spikes.
hit on the spikes.
Right.
Goes through the first wall. Gets the ability cell.
Alright, he
And
does
gets
get
the
it.
second wall.
Now he just needs to remember that he cannot do a damage boost on the spikes before the stomp tree. I'm pretty sure Elo will remember that, but if he kind of just has a little bit of a, like, just forgets that he took damage, that could give him a decent death at the top.
Yeah, Willson on the left, nailing his swamp entry first try, gaining that little bit of time for not having to deal with the lasers cutscene, and doing a little bit of a hyperspeed here for it.
Yeah. And Elo is ready at the stomp tree. Willson is actually not far behind anymore. Like, we'll get an exact time soon.
Yeah, Willson doing those double bashes up, a little bit of a high five, one exiting, one entering the stomp tree. And we have 17 seconds between them now. So
Yeah.
Willson making up ground.
Yeah,
Just
speaking of
just what
17
he needs to do to
seconds,
stick with us.
like one current cutscene skip fail from Elo will put them back in tie because that is about 17 seconds. So in this split, anything could happen where Willson could be ahead.
That's very true. Elo gets a good cycle on his lasers. Willson, again, won't have to worry about those, so he can just fly right through.
So this is very important for Elo. He needs to get it if he wants to keep his lead. He looks like he has good position. He gets the trick.
Yep, and now Willson will have to answer coming up on the left. We've got just a little bit of time before Elo goes for his Spider Sack cutscene skip.
Right, so Willson does get his current cutscene skip, but meanwhile on the right side, Elo has good double bashes so far. He just needs to get that bash and he does get that trick again.
Very
Like,
nice.
I believe Willson will probably be going for it again, but I'm not too sure. And he does throw off the save, but he will be going for that movement again. His double bashes.
Yeah, that position looks really good.
Shots? Okay, perfect. So this race has a 4-on-4 in the stack movement, and it's insane. Well, Delta
runners.
and Charge Flame, it's still 17 seconds. They both had the same, basically like flawless Charge Flame split.
Yeah, matching each other pace for pace. This is what we love to see out of runners at this caliber. So, Elo just out to a little bit of a lead. Doesn't necessarily know it, but he's having a pretty good race, I think, so...
Yeah, they're both like not just like they're both in really good pace overall. Like even with them being close, I believe they're both in a better pace than last run, so they're both like kind of getting more into it and more into this zone of the race.
Yep, our next Elo taking those double bashes on the bird, saving just a little bit of time, and he'll be setting up for his fast Stompless soon.
Yeah, meanwhile Willson dropped a double bash in the frog, so that's gonna lose him a little bit of time on the split, but it's not the biggest of deals. He is still on his way towards fast Stompless, which Elo is doing right now. And he's gonna grab the cell and gets the shot correctly.
Very nice.
Meanwhile, Willson on the left side, he's moving upwards towards the shot where he can start aiming it. As soon as he gets up there, he's gonna manipulate the movement, throws the shot, looks really good, and just has to race over to the cell as well.
And gets it as well. Very nice.
Alright, so now Elo has a redemption to do here. He's gonna go up to Saro and has to try his crazy juggle, which he had a lot of trouble with last race. He failed it multiple times, so he's gonna have to really improve in that this time if he wants to keep his lead.
Yep, going for his Saro Bash here. Last time he did it, it looked textbook. This time, also very good.
Yeah. Alright, so as he rocket jumps, meanwhile, Willson is going towards his Saro Bash. He did die to once last race, so he's gonna try to improve that record, but meanwhile Elo, let's look on the right side of the screen, going for crazy juggling.
Yep, Willson getting through that Saro Bash, taking one extra double bash just for a little bit of safety. Elo getting crazy juggle, first try. Exactly what he needs to do. Willson going for his crazy juggle.
Cannot afford to like drop this one. This is very important, and he is having a very good juggle so far. Basically all like perfect juggles, and that was as good as it could get. Very clean from Willson.
Yeah, very nice to see both of them recovering after having a little bit of trouble with that last game.
Yeah. So they're basically, as Elo had just skipped the cutscene, Willson is watching the cutscene. They're very close, and Elo has to get towards the charge jump tree.
Yeah, one thing that Elo will have to consider, he missed a little bit of the XP from that petrified plant up at Sunstone. So he'll have to work in a little bit more XP to make up for that, to make sure that he gets that level up at the Misty Mini-Boss.
Yeah, there's a lot of like kind of easy XP to pick up without losing much time. I believe Elo will, know about it. Oh, Willson!
Oh no, Willson!
I think he stomp cancels a little bit too late, so he burned the energy, and then he just didn't have another energy to charge dash again, and just messed up his movement. But thankfully, that's not the worst death he could take, but it's not the greatest either.
Yeah, and on the right, we saw Elo stomping down into those spikes to grab that 100 XP, so he's just fine on his experience count. It's basically impossible to overshoot this level, so he'll be getting that level up right when he wants.
Yeah, and as we got word from the truck, there's 35 seconds stealth at charge jump, so Elo is growing his lead as this race is going further.
Yeah, already to the first keystone in Misty as Willson nails the weave.
That's my favorite movement to watch done correctly. It's so good.
And it's even faster.
Yeah, it is faster.
Willson forgoing his safety save at the entrance to Misty Woods. We've seen him do that in every race so far, so... Oh no! Oh no, and it kills him!
Managing
all the way
no
back to
safety
the
save.
charge jump tree.
This is disastrous for Willson. He lost a lot of time because of that death, and Elo's already at climb with very plain movement. This is now a huge lead that is gonna be he's gonna need a miracle to come back from, but we will see what can happen.
Yeah, that kind of death is exactly the reason that Willson has been taking that safety save at the entrance to Misty Woods. And
He's having some trouble exiting Sorrow now. This kind of happens when you have such a death. It just kind of gets to you and you start failing other things that you're more comfortable with. So hopefully Willson can manage to recover from that and kind of forget about it and move on with better movement. So far, he's back to Misty now.
Yeah, but look at this lead Elo has. Already past the 4th keystone, getting set up to take out this mini-boss. Oh, a little bit. Oh, no!
Elo,
All the way back to
that's
climb
a huge
tree.
death. Okay, so that gives Willson some ground in this race. Like, he is not out of it yet. That was a huge death from Elo. And one more death like this, Willson could probably be caught up and be even ahead.
Elo not going for his laser charge dash there. Might be feeling just a little bit shaken by that death.
You can't blame him. After having such a death, you're probably just like, your mindset's all over the place. Especially Elo is not watching the race, so at this point, he doesn't know his position in the race, and after taking such a death, he's probably not in the greatest of mindsets.
Yeah, when you're racing in a tournament like this, it's very easy to, if you're not watching, to just assume that your opponent is just playing perfectly all the time. And so taking a big death like that, it's very natural to feel like, oh, I must be way behind now.
Alright, so he does get that quick kill on the second time, and he is past the mini-boss. Meanwhile, Willson is ready, like, making his way towards there. We got about a 38-40 second stealth as of right now.
Yeah, Elo charge dashing like a madman right now. I don't know how many charge dashes he managed to work in there, but quite a few of them were uncancelled.
Yeah, I want to say the answer is all of them.
All of the charge dashes, I approve. Willson coming up on his mini boss.
Ooh, oh,
A little bit of a. Oh!
Okay. He's fine. Oh god!
He's fine, he's not dead.
Okay.
Okay.
He's alive. Whew.
Oh
That
my
was,
goodness.
That was scary. But he is through. Elo's already on his way down to Grenade Tree.
I did not need to see 2 Misty mini boss deaths in this race.
Elo again has the one less energy, has to go for the backup, but gets it cleanly, and he's gonna skip that final cutscene that he has to skip.
Yeah, maybe burning one too many, doing all of the charge dashes, leaving Misty. As Willson gets out of Misty Woods and is teleporting to Glades. Elo on the grenade tree, 26-20.
Willson again carrying that long save anywhere all the way from the teleporter just so he can save that like small amount of time, and it's exactly what he will need to go for everything if he wants to have any chance in winning this one.
On the right, Elo rocket jumping his way up out of the grenade tree area, dashing under these crushers, and picking up his 4th health cell to head over to Swamp.
He is safe, he's already
He's on the
out.
home stretch.
So there's about a 45-second stealth as of right now. This is, for being this late in the run, this is a good amount. It's gonna take some mistakes from Elo for Willson to come back, but again, in horror, anything could happen, so we will see.
Yeah, there are a lot of mistakes that are available to be made here. And especially with the low energy counts that they'll both be going into the final escape with due to doing that warm skip trick and not getting an energy refill, anything can really happen.
Yeah. Like 45 seconds is close to the amount of time that grenade jump saves, so a little bit of mistakes, maybe not getting grenade jump will be enough for Willson to possibly bring it back, but before that happens, we have door warp coming up for Elo.
Yep, he needs to hit that, make that input frame perfectly as the game loads to confuse the door and have it put him at the end of the dungeon. He gets it first try.
He did successfully confuse the door, and he is gonna probably go for warmth skip, where he's gonna have to reload here. Let's see if he does get it. Alright, so he does get the cutscene to play out. Now he's gonna have to do some perfect blind movement. I don't know, did he do the re-entry?
No, he didn't. He went
Right.
straight in for it.
This is dangerous because if he dies towards the end, like after the swim, this could actually like be disastrous.
Oh, that lava
and he's gonna
pillar.
have to reload.
All right, Elo's coming up on his swim. He has 5 HP. He can only take 4 ticks of damage. 1, 2, 3,
Alright, he's through.
4. He's out.
He has one more thing, and it's grenade jump. If he gets it, he will tie up the series. And he does get it
He gets a
successfully.
grenade jump. Does
GG
not
Elo.
soft block it. GG Elo. Okay, I was a little worried there. I saw Ori running. We're good. So Willson doing his worm skip, working his way through the final escape. Elo has not finished yet. Wilson's still got to go all out just in case something happens.
He does
Oh
take
no,
it.
Willson takes a death.
Did he? Alright. So he's just gonna wait for this cutscene to play out so he could see what he's doing in order to do a little dash through that rock. He's already passed it, now he can try it again. Meanwhile, Elo getting a 29-28, a very good time, a respectable time for him to take the second race.
Yeah, he's got to feel a lot better about that run than the previous one.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a 30 seconds improvement from the last one, or actually closer to a minute improvement, I believe, so...
Yeah, about 1 minute and 15 seconds. So we will have a game 3 for all of you fine watchers, as Willson sets up for his grenade jump to close out this race.
Fails it the first time, but he still has 2 more potential attempts, and it's 1 more. Let's see if he gets it. He is through. GG to Willson.
Yep, GG to both of our runners. We are 1-1 in the semifinals between Elojimmini and Willson, as Willson just needs to hold right and walk Naru over to close out his time.
Yeah. This has been an insane series, and I do not expect anything less from Game 3. It's going to be amazing.
That is very, very true. And Willson finishes with a time of 30 minutes, 53 seconds.
So a little bit over a minute to separate them. Not the biggest of deltas, so... But for now, I do believe we will be going in another small break, and then we're going to be back for the third game.
Yep, we'll be out for about 5 minutes, so stay tuned for game number 3. Welcome back, Ori fans, to this semifinal in the All Skills Tournament in 2019. We are on Game 3 of Willson versus Elojimmini. I'm still Jay Halcyon. Joining me is still Lurking Assassin. Lurking, we've had a couple of great games. What do you want to see out of this game?
Honestly, if we see the same type of stuff that happened in Game 1 and Game 2, it would be amazing. Those two races were intense, and I expect nothing different from Game 3.
Yeah, Game 1, just to quickly recap, Elojimmini having some trouble on Crazy Juggle, having some trouble with his Magnetless Frankie Walk, Willson taking the win. Game 2, Willson having a little bit of a slip up, headed to the Ginso tree, decided to go and visit Swamp first, and then a little bit of trouble in Misty Woods, Elojimmini taking the win.
Yeah.
That brings us to Game 3.
And-
this is for all the marbles.
And like, the to be continued meme plays. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, alright, so
Is
the
that a
race has-
JoJo's reference?
Yes. I don't think you appreciate it. Anyways, the race has started again. We're gonna see them grabbing sign and having the same old early game with hopefully nothing too different.
Yeah, as we have seen both of these games, both of these runners very, very comfortable in Glades. It doesn't come. We don't see too many mistakes entering their play until quite a bit later. Hopefully, we won't see any mistakes entering their play at all. But
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, in the first race we had like the 30s, and then we had a 29. So hopefully we just see like a bunch of 28s here with just like perfect gameplay from both. It would be a treat.
yes, it would. Or even, now bear with me here, 27.
I mean, I would appreciate PBs for both of them. That would also be even better. So we could look forward to that, or we could hope for that. But I don't think we should say we should look forward for that. We could only bless RNG and all of that.
Willson keeping up his color codes, giving us another bit of yellow.
Yeah, yellow. It's a little bit more yellowy than last time, though, right?
Yeah, still pretty faint though.
Yeah, it's not like the banana Ori.
Looks like Willson did get. I mean, it's little tiny things here in Glades. Looks like Willson. No, actually, it looks like maybe he didn't. I thought he had gotten a health pickup off of that flower pad, but it looks like he didn't manage to.
He didn't get the pickup, but he did manage to like get on the jump pad and bounce up before watching the cutscene. Well, Elo had to watch the cutscene at the bottom of the jump pad, which did save him like very slight amount of time. But in Glades, it's what makes these like few like half a second differences.
Yeah, and one of those tiny differences, Willson actually doing a 2 health ghost door, so losing about a second there.
But that again at the end ends up having us almost frame tied. Okay, not almost frame, more like just regular tied.
Yeah, Elo maybe having the slightest of advantages here.
Yeah. So here we're gonna see them try to just set up their XP as usual to get the level up on the way up because of their routes. Just makes it a little bit more pleasant. Looks like Willson has a good amount of XP, and so does Elo, I believe. Drop down. Alright, and they're both safely to the wall jump tree.
Yeah, Elo maybe a second or two ahead at this point.
Again, that's nothing compared to what's going to happen soon, especially with their route differences. Yeah, and a 2-second delta was accurate.
It's too bad Willson can't keep that nice yellow through Blackroot. That makes Ori just a little bit easier to see. But unfortunately, when he does his save and reload to skip the cutscene to go in, he'll be returned to just being a normal white Ori.
Yeah. That's like one of the, I guess, fortunate or unfortunate things about the color codes. Like, it does reset it, and then you don't have much time to start inserting other ones like you do in the early game. So it's mainly just like an early game thing where you just have a color. But that really doesn't matter. Elo's still in about like 1 to 2 second advantage as they're running towards Blackroot. So again, there's gonna be a small like route difference where Willson will stop to grab that 15 XP here for his genocide draw. Well, it'll just go straight down, which will save him a couple of seconds here, which he will be made up for, hopefully, if Willson gets his genocide correct.
Yep, and Elo, we see going for that quick flame. Not at all concerned about that magnetless Frankie Walk. Willson, of course, grabbing Magnet for his genocide.
So here, basically, what happened, what the runners will be looking for is to hopefully for Willson to not have the same problem that he had last time and in previous races with the upper slime and not getting his XP. Well, Elo has had clean black room movement so far. He just wants to repeat that and not get a bad death anywhere.
Yeah, and there are plenty of bad deaths to be had in Blackroot. Neither of our runners has had trouble with them, but those spikes they just jumped across will do 3 damage each hit, and will kill them in one shot. The lasers, of course, will vaporize our poor little leaf friend Ori. You just touch them.
And Elo taking some... Okay, he's safe. So Elo going for his reload cycle saves him like a second or two, then waiting for the cycle because it does reset them to like a certain position. And Willson does catch his quote-unquote genocide cycle, which is what he was looking towards.
Yeah, and it looks like they're only separated by about half a platform cycle at this point, so about 4 seconds. We'll see if Willson can manage to avoid missing out on the Slime's XP.
Alright, he does manage to get it this time. Perfect. So in this case, Willson will only have to kill 1 slime on the way out rather than the 2 that he had to do the last race, which will like just be a nice thing for his mentality of like not missing the same thing over and over again, which could be rough sometimes.
Yep, both of them making their platform cycles in this dash room. We manipulate that, and runners at this level manipulate it very aggressively, so a miss there can cost you a fair number of seconds.
As we mentioned many times, all of these cycles are 8 seconds, but it really doesn't matter because they both just got the cycles that they wanted, and no one had to like stand there pointlessly for 8 seconds waiting for a cycle. And again, here we see the different cutscene skip variations that they do. Elo's potentially 2 seconds faster if done correctly, but Willson just gonna watch that tree animation and then grab the 1 slime on the way out because of genocide that he's doing.
Yeah, not getting hit by the slime this time. Willson has 3 health to work with. Always nice. Elo nailing his blind movement. A little bit of trouble with that dash glide across the slow zone, but no big deal. Again, these small 1 or 2 second time saves are likely to not be what decides this race.
Yeah, so far Willson did not get his Frankie stuck in the tree like he did last time, so that is a little bit nicer for a Frankie walk, because like the movement will be what you expect, and you're not gonna have to like adapt in any different ways. And he does get stuck in these spikes though, which is a little bit harder to prevent.
Yeah, our runners just about 7 seconds apart at dash. We'll see a little bit of deviation from that in that Elo will have saved some time after that
and also got the
and
energy
lost
drop.
some time from Magnet.
Also got the energy drop where he could drop a safety save here, so getting a death will not be as catastrophic as it could be without it, but really doesn't matter when he does this movement as clean as he did. And he's probably gonna drop a safety save as soon as he can up here, and he does.
Yeah, our runners just a few seconds apart here.
So
We may have a lead change here depending on how this grotto cycle goes.
So in both screens, they're going to be going for that grotto cycle we keep talking about. Willson gets it. Elo also gets it. So there is not going to be a big difference in times here, so Willson is still just a couple seconds in the lead.
Yep, as they set up for their ghost stores, taking quick deaths, and head down to the double jump tree. We'll see how they do on their blind movement. That could.
Willson!
Oh no, Willson!
Fails the dash glide, and then the Frankie just jumps on him and kills him. And that was about like a 10 or so second death for him, but he is back to that tree and safely, and he skipped the cutscene, or skip the tree animation and just do the blind movement now.
Elo looks very good on his blind movement. We'll see if Willson can match that. He'll need to do so to
He does.
make up that time, and yeah, he does.
So now coming up to Grotto Skip, Elo has had some troubles with it in the past 2 races, so let's see if he can make it up now and get a first try, and he does. Yeah.
Very
Well
nice.
played.
Willson needs to match Elo with that first try Grotto Skip to keep himself close.
And he does.
He gets it. A little bit of a flub on that jump, but no big deal.
And again, climbing up these grotto walls right now could be a difference if anyone has some big troubles with them. Elo so far is doing it very cleanly, and so is Willson. Alright.
Yeah, Elo getting the water vein. Willson will be getting it in just a few seconds, and we'll see how far apart they are. Willson eating a little bit more of that slow zone. He's down to 12 seconds behind Elo.
So again, 12 seconds is basically that one death that that Willson had, plus a little bit more. So they're still very relatively close, and any mistake could again equalize this race.
Yeah, 12 seconds is basically any death.
Yeah.
At this point in the race, we'll wipe that out entirely.
Let's see if Willson climbs up the walls, and he doesn't accidentally go to the right side this time, so that will be a decent time save compared to his last race that he had.
But lurking, he'll have to deal with that cutscene on his way to Swamp.
Oh yeah, that's like 3 seconds on the other. Yeah, you're right.
Willson
Elo-
taking some damage on the Frankie, missing his cycle. He's got to be careful here. He's only got 1 hit point.
Yeah. So now he's gonna have, if he has 1 health, he's gonna have to be careful of the slime on the way up, where he has to kill him rather than damage boost through him. He does remember that, and he's too safely, and Elo is ready to get sentry.
Yeah, next up on the right, we'll see Elo going for his telehops. He nailed them game 1, had a little bit of trouble game 2. Let's see if he can bring back some of that game 1 mojo.
And he does.
Those look good.
Ooh, he went like higher than he'd want to as well. That was very good by Elo. Willson on the left side will be going for the same trick, and let's see if he can match Elo or maybe even do a little better. And he is up there. Alright, so very well played by both of them. Elo already taking his intentional death on top of the tree, or the middle of the tree, what am I talking about, to set up these cycles, and he does it very well.
Yeah, and we've got, thanks to our friends in the truck letting us know, Elo is 7 seconds behind his personal best of 28 minutes flat at the entry to the Gensosian tree.
Yeah,
so Elo's having a great run right now.
Yeah, Elo's PB, like, being even relatively close to it, that means he's on an insane pace, and if he keeps this up, he will make it to where Willson will have to actually PB in order to win the race. And he does. Elo gets the 3 cycle.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he needs to stay close to that PB.
Yeah.
Willson will have to answer with a 4 cycle. Looks like he missed that, just a couple of shots there, taking some damage.
So, unfortunately, he will not be getting the 4 cycle, because you cannot miss a single shot if you want to get that, but it's all good.
And here at Bash, we'll get an update on how Elojimmini's doing versus his PB, and then
5 seconds
once Willson gets
behind.
there.
He is 5 seconds behind his PB. So that is like, catching up on his PB. That means he is on his way from potentially getting a 27 if he keeps improving like this.
Yeah, and if Elo does manage to do that, any PB is obviously...
He
Oh
does,
no!
Miss. He grabs the shot a little bit too late. That was already at the wall, so that's lost him a couple of shots, and that's like maybe like 3-4 seconds, which is not what he wants to see if he wants to PB. But again, his goal in this race is to win and not to get a PB, although that would be sweet.
Yeah, I mean, even just being close to his PB, when you're ahead of your opponent's PB, it's a really good feeling in terms of knowing how you're doing in the race.
even if he's not watching, if he's ahead of Willson like this much, he kind of just knows that like unless Willson is some godlike base, he is probably in the lead. So Elo's ready at the mini boss, but Willson just got his key dupe and will be trying to just not die until he gets to the top of this area.
Yeah, Willson only about 17 seconds behind at the bash tree, so still very much anyone's race.
And especially coming up soon is Swamp Entry. This is a place where 17 seconds could be easily done. Or lost, rather. By just dipping the frog once in the water. But,
Yeah, especially as we have seen these last two races, Elo not taking any safety between the teleporter to leave Ginso and going for those. Oh no, he does take one safety save there, but it's quite a ways away from the frog.
Yeah, so here Elo really wants to get this first try. He gets the frog up safely. That is the harder part of the trick. So now he's just gonna have to break that one barricade, grab another shot, and double bash it up, and he gets it very cleanly.
Yep, on the left, Willson doing some blind movement, taking a little bit of damage there, but he'll drop his safety save. Oh no, dunks the frog, some value out of that safety save.
Alright, so that was a quick reload. He lost probably around 5 seconds due to that mistake. It's not the worst thing in the world, but he's on pace to get the trick again.
What was that frog shot?
I don't know, but
oh no,
he gets hit by the shot. Alright. Either way, he is up there in his second shot attempt and second try at the whole thing.
He'll need to keep in mind, though, that he took that damage. He's on 2 HP now after that save, so he can't take a damage boost on those spikes to get over a little bit faster.
I do believe Willson will notice that. That is one of the things that like you always keep in mind of because of probably catastrophic deaths that you've had in the past in this area, and he does catch onto it, and he's onto the stomp tree.
Yeah, and Elo taking a rough death there.
Okay, he did have a safety save right before.
Yeah, that's still about 10 seconds, but he was 36 seconds up at Stomp, so in good position. Probably not going to see a PB out of Elo this run, but he's still at a great pace to be ahead of Wilson's PB, so
yeah, definitely. Like the
he's still in a commanding position.
He's still in a like very comfortable 28 pace so far, which is again an insane pace for him to have. But before that, Willson. Okay.
Good adaptation there, going to the right so the frog will start shooting rather than running away.
Yeah, I mean,
Elo going for this double bash chain.
I really want to see 6 out of 6 in this series. Alright, he gets it.
Well, there's 5 for 5.
5 for 5. If Willson gets it, this would have been 6 successful double bash sack skip, and it's not something I would have ever expected to see, but here we are, 2 monsters racing against each other, and it might happen.
Yeah, other tricks that our runners are perfect on in this series. We've got 6 for 6 on the Kuro cutscene skip as well. So, I don't know, are there even cutscenes between Stomp and Seaflame at this point?
I don't think so. There's definitely not a cutscene where Willson just double dashed through just for fun. There's definitely not a cutscene where people usually talk about it after those like little spikes, but yeah.
So, as Willson gets to charge Flame Tree here, he is 28 seconds behind. Starting to get to the point that a small death wouldn't necessarily let him catch up, but we're in Valley, and in Valley, there aren't really any small deaths.
Yeah, any death will probably take Elo all the way back to the Spirit Well where he skipped that cutscene, and that will put Willson in the lead. So any of these spikes right here will kill him. He needs a couple hits from this bird. Ooh, Willson actually is the one who takes the death on the left side. It was a little bit earlier in Valley, so it's not as bad as it could have been, but it's not something he wants to see.
Yeah, unfortunately our runners don't get an energy refill from Feather. Ooh, that looked high from Elo.
But Elo is confident in it, so we could also believe in it. And he does get
it. Elo knows far better than I do.
Yeah, definitely. He's confident in his shots, and it shows why. He just knows what he's doing, and he's already at the feather cutscene. While Willson is already climbing up to the fast stompless area.
Yep, and that'll be the last save that Elo gets until the Sunstone.
So if he does get like a bad death or like a couple of mistakes on a crazy juggle, Willson still has potential to catch up by the charge jump. But it all depends on how Elo played this part. He gets Sour Bash very cleanly.
Yep, and on the left, while he was doing that, Willson nailing fast stompless.
Yeah. So here, all eyes on the right side where Elo will be going for crazy juggle. Accidentally bashes towards the slime, but it's very recoverable if that happens. It's just a little, and he does.
Oh no!
His frog goes into the spikes. Elo is going for the safer, but a little bit slower. Oh my god, he goes back on frog. This is what we're talking about.
Just
Willson
like
is in the
that,
lead.
we have a race again. Willson went from 42 seconds behind to working on Sarobash ahead of Elo, and he's in.
This is what we were talking about in the late game. Any of these deaths, especially with all these difficult tricks, it's such a big time loss, and Elo showed us for the second time in this series how rough Crazy Juggle is and why most people decide to not do it. Meanwhile, Willson going for his attempt on it.
Yeah, this looks really clean so far from Willson.
Alright, Willson gets a
Nice,
really
gets
good
it.
Crazy Juggle. Elo
Started doing
forgot.
Crazy Juggle before breaking the ceiling.
Oh no, he goes all the way back to the feather. This is slowly becoming a very, very bad position for Elo to be in this race.
Yeah, what a turnaround, going from very close to your PB to potentially more than a minute behind.
I believe it will be for sure more than a minute behind at this pace, but hopefully Elo manages to get the trick this time and just get it out of the way so he can just focus on what's coming up.
Yeah, he does get the ceiling break that time. It looks like last time his frog shot didn't go quite high enough.
I wasn't sure if he just didn't go high enough or if he forgot to rocket jump, but either way, it doesn't matter. He is up to the Sunstone now and just gonna skip this cutscene. But Willson is already gonna try to go make his way down to Misty Woods.
Yeah, this is the section that Willson had a lot of trouble with last race, so we want to see him improve on that. Take whatever safety he needs.
Again, he is watching the race, and last time when he was ahead, he decided to go for safety saves, and I expect the same this time, but we'll see when he's done with his He
Yep,
does get a
there's that safety
now.
save. I like that choice from him. He knows he's ahead. He's watching the stream. He knows that taking a death in Misty and going all the way back to charge jump would be a really easy way to lose that lead. So taking that safety save there is an excellent choice.
Yeah. So at charge jump, there was a 51 seconds delta. I went up from like, what was it, 40 something?
47 seconds in the other direction.
In the other direction. So this just shows how unfortunate missing Crazy Juggle can be. But again, it's not over. Willson is getting closer to his climb tree. And just off another safety save because this area can be a little scary.
Yeah, again, at 3 HP, both of these runners will die to any spikes in Misty Woods or in Sorrow Pass. So, that little bit of safety, a little bit of peace of mind, Willson makes it to the climb tree.
Yeah, this is all that Willson needs to do at this point. Just make sure you don't take any deaths, as well as not going extremely safe, and he should be fine. Because like the difference between them right now is not something that would be equalized by just like random saves by Willson. He's having a little bit of trouble moving through these lasers, but again, it's in the grand scheme of this race, not the biggest of problems.
Yeah, good eye to notice that those lasers were a little bit off after that jump and being patient enough to reset the cycle on them.
Yeah, being that those lasers like toggle every time you jump, and since he did an extra jump, they were all out of whack. But he did fix it and not have any bad deaths happen to him while doing that. Now up to the mini boss. We've seen both runners have a little bit of troubles with it so far in their race, but Willson is determined to get everything correctly, and he does.
Yeah, our runners both working off of the same save right now, though. If I don't expect to see Willson have any trouble leaving Misty Woods, but if he does, that would be a very quick path to Elo.
He is done with all the
Elo
spikes that he
back
can
in the
potentially hit, so he should be safe unless he falls to the bottom of Valley, which is extremely, extremely unlikely. He's just gonna charge dash across the pit and teleport back to Blades.
Meanwhile, Elo on the right, working his way up to the mini boss. He's even got an extra energy to work with. Let's see his.
Drop the
Oh,
save.
he places a save. I like that.
Yeah. And he
Quickly
retained it.
disposes of that mini boss.
Alright. Again, Willson doing the same movement with the long save anywhere. Just very confident in his movement through this area. He doesn't need to see that well.
Yeah, dropping down, knowing how these lasers cycle because his movement is so consistent. And, oh! A little bit of a...
He's... Oh god, he dashes
Oh,
back
death.
into the spikes. Okay. This is not quite enough to catch Elo back up in the race, but this was not the best thing that Willson would be able to see here.
Yeah, and Elo has been, meanwhile, closing the gap. He was only 39 seconds behind exiting Misty Woods, and a fair chunk of that will have evaporated to Elo's death. Or to
So I believe
Wilson's
that they're
death.
going to be like closer to like 25 or so seconds. We will get a more accurate measurement at the grenade tree, but this is still like possible for Elo to come back if Willson has any troubles in either the final escape or the way towards it.
Willson setting up, getting his grenade jump just fine to leave the grenade tree as Elo drops down to pick his up.
So 16 seconds difference at the grenade tree. This is becoming very close, and small mistakes like Willson is having right here can just slowly close the gap.
Yeah, any death, any even just movement flub could change the face of this race at this point.
Yeah. Elo also having a little bit of movement flops. They're both like probably just feeling the pressure of this race and just messing up some simple movements. Not the biggest of time losses, but it could start adding up. So far, Willson clean movement toward the Horror Fields area, and has to just make sure he doesn't die to any of these enemies here, where like many of them can just kill him very quickly, as well as some lava.
Yeah, and has to preserve his energy for his warmth skip. He knows how close Elo is. He knows he has to go for everything.
That's another thing we should point out. This race is close enough to where warmth skip could make the difference.
Yeah, door warp, warmth skip, grenade jump, all three of those tricks coming up in rapid succession here in Mount Horu. All of them could make the difference between Willson winning and Elo winning.
I believe, okay, Elo has 1 energy. He could potentially still do warmth skip, but it's going to be so much scarier where he will be basically has to be perfect on his energy management all through the escape. So we'll see if he decides to go for it or just skip out. Meanwhile,
Yep,
Willson
Willson
attempting it.
getting his first try door warp. Elo going for his door warp.
Alright.
Elo gets it first try. Willson does his warmth skip. Elo heading up for his. Will he go for it, or will he's
will.
going for it?
He kind of has, so he doesn't know the state of the race, but we know that he needs to get it in order to win. Willson is at half an energy. Elo should be at half an energy. They both have 1 attempt at grenade jump. And they are within range where a missed grenade jump will lose the race for either of them.
And Willson had some trouble with grenade jumps last race.
Alright, he's up here. He needs to get it. He has 1 attempt. If he misses it and Elo gets it, this will be the match for Elo. This is it. Left side, everyone look at that. And he gets it. Willson wins
Willson
the match.
is through. GG.
That was such an intense ending. Okay, so meanwhile, on the right side, Elo also going for grenade jump. Gets the first try as well. I believe that was like 5 to 10 seconds difference.
Yeah, those are very, very close. Let's see. Yeah, about 11 seconds apart. Wow.
For such an intense race with all the ups and downs that Elo has had, Willson has had, ending up this close in the third game of the series of the semifinals. Amazing performance by both of them, is all I could say. GG to Willson.
Yeah, Willson closing that one out with a 29-31. Elo stopping to type a little bit in the SRL chat, eventually finishing out with a 29-45. Willson expressing some words that I can't say on this stream.
I mean, you can't. After this race, Willson did say he does not expect himself to win, but he gives himself a chance to protect his title in the grand finals against the winner of the other semifinals, which we will figure out, I believe, on Saturday or tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have game 1 and 2 of Hitachi Hex versus Uncle Ronnie tomorrow to figure out who their opponent will be, and then the finals are scheduled for Sunday.
Yes. So tomorrow we'll definitely have 2 games, and then Sunday will be the grand finals. It would be amazing. But for now, I believe we will have both of the racers in here with us.
Yes, indeed. And we are joined now by Willson and Elojimmini. GG to both of you. Willson, congratulations on your win. How do you feel after that race?
Oh, thanks. I'm literally shaking. Like I'm out of breath and I can't sit still. Like, oh god.
Classic
Oh,
Willson.
I
I
hate
believe
this.
we're all shaking after such an ending. So again, GG to you. I guess we wanted to ask for your words on how you feel, but I think you already described everything.
Well, I don't know. It's like I didn't really expect to win this one, no, I can't explain it.
I think the lack of words is explanation enough. Elo, GG to you as well, taking one of these 3 games and putting together a couple of 29s for us. How do you feel? How do you feel overall about the way that set went?
It was an interesting race. Like each time, I thought Wilson would probably have it while I was walking towards the end because I don't watch the stream at all. Because there was just so many screw ups in so many places in all of the races. It'll be interesting to watch what happened back.
Yeah, it was an intense. Like all 3 races were just extremely amazing to watch. It was a treat. So I guess just to talk about the race a little bit, I want to talk to Wilson if you have any words right now. After your first win, and you were watching the race, you were watching the race streams in the first races and the third races, or in the third race, when you saw yourself being ahead, like mainly in Sorrow and the early game as well, were you did you have a boost of confidence, or were you just still very worried about the race that Ella will catch up to you?
Yeah, I didn't really get a boost of confidence. Gonna have to reconsider my strats to watch the restream. Actually, I'm getting so nervous when I see myself having a solid lead like that, like in the first race, and I just feel this huge pressure that, oh my god, I should really win this one pretty easily now. Just don't make a huge mistake, and this is in the bag. And then instead of making huge mistakes, I start making all these tiny, like 2 or 3 second mistakes everywhere, and it's not helping. It's really not helping.
Yeah, that was kind of the story of these races was we'd have a few large mistakes from both of you, and it was just a matter of those small mistakes adding up to those big mistakes, definitely. Elo, bouncing it back to you to give Willson a chance to catch his breath a little bit.
Good job.
That third race was the fastest that you turned in this set. And the early game looked like it was going very, very well for you. At what point did you feel like maybe you were at a point where you were so far ahead that Willson couldn't catch up versus where it might be in danger for you?
There's never really a point where I think Wilson can't catch up. He's such a good runner. It's never out of the ballpark that he's going to just throw in a 28. So on that third race, I was like 6 seconds behind my PB towards Ginso. So I had a good feeling that he wouldn't be close to me or not like right out where I was. But
throughout it all, it was kind of just I didn't really think about where he was because there's just no telling where he would be.
Yeah, actually, like if you watch the races back, I want to go back to Willson. What like in the second race, you did comment about it a little bit in chat, but what was going through your mind when you accidentally went to do swamp entry rather than going towards Ginso? Was that just like pressure coming to you, or did you just lose focus on the race?
It was more like I was thinking about the race and my strats in the late game and what I would change to play safer, or not play safer, like what I usually exchange in there. Like I usually place a couple of safety saves in Misty if I'm ahead, right? So I was just juggling in my head, like, okay, which safety saves should I place? Which is the extra ones that I really want to place if I really get ahead, and all of that. And I think that's what went through my head. But mostly, I wasn't just really thinking about my route. And then I got a little bit ahead of myself and wanted to go to Stomp because I wanted to be ahead, I guess. But yeah, once I realized like I couldn't bash the frog, I immediately wondered like, why? Am I screwed in this race now? Because I really felt like I should be at this frog, right? And then I realized, well, maybe I should go to Ginza first. And it was, I just imagined this moment explaining myself right now. And I tried to face palm, but I had to keep my hands on my keyboard.
Oh, and then finally, I guess to kind of put a bow on this, Willson, coming up this weekend, you will be facing off against the winner of tomorrow's matchup between Uncle Ronnie and Hitachi Hex, as our viewers can see here on our standings. You've said before that you think this entire top four is super spooky.
Yes.
Do you have one of those two that you prefer to run against?
Good question. Ronnie is definitely the more spooky one because Hitachi is a little bit insane in the sense that he goes for these super spooky strats where he can easily like lose a minute or save 10 frames, right? So in that sense, Hitachi is like easier to play against because I think I have a better chance against Hitachi. That being said, Hitachi has a 27, right? And Ronnie has a 27, and I don't have a 27, which feels bad.
No,
But yeah, and I'd also I'd like to remake last year's finals by going up against Ronnie. Plus, like Ronnie and me and Elo has had this kind of rivalry ever since we started playing this game. Like we all started at sort of the same time, and we've all been sort of at the same skill level throughout this playing this game, right? So it would be fun to go up against Ronnie, but yeah, I'll take either one of them. I'm good friends with both, so it would be fun against either one.
Will definitely be fun to watch. But I guess for now, I want to congratulate you again, Willson, for your win, and GGLO. It was an amazing performance in this race and the tournament. But for now, we're gonna have to check out our next race. Will be tomorrow, as we mentioned, between the other two semifinalists, Ronnie and Hitachi. So I guess, do you have any final words, Hell, or should we close it out?
Yeah, I just want to note that tomorrow we will have game 1 and 2 of Ronnie versus Hitachi. We will have a game 3, if need be, on Saturday, and that'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Next up on Speed Gaming 2 at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer. So if that's your thing, stick around for that. Otherwise, I've been Jay Halcyon, joined by Lurking Assassin. Thank you, of course, to our truck, Grease and Nans, for feeding us those wonderful numbers and keeping us on par with an extra set of eyes. And of course, Griffs for restreaming the whole thing for us.
And thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.